Two shadows at noon, the secret deal that broke your name. You hear it before you see it, the hush that falls over a house when truth decides to arrive. The walls listen, the clock waits, and the floorboards know which steps belong to love and which belong to a lie. At 12 p.m., two sets of footsteps plan to cross your threshold, and that is not an accident. I am not here to make you afraid, I am here to make you ready. I am not here to wound your heart, I am here to stitch it back into something stronger. I am not here to expose your shame, I am here to bring the courage you were always meant to hold. The message is simple, and because it is simple it sounds impossible. Someone you called special made a trade they were never supposed to make, and they made it with your peace. They chose to guard their hidden doorway by turning the handle on your home. At noon, two people will move like a whisper, but their presence will be heavy. One comes to take, the other comes to look. One is a collector of leverage, the other is a witness who pretends to be a friend. Your spirit has already sensed it. That restless sleep last night was not random, and that sudden cold along your arms was not the weather. Your intuition crawled to the window long before your eyes could follow. I will call the first one the whisperer. They move with quiet hands and a rehearsed smile, the sort of smile a person wears when they've spoken badly of you and want to see if you can hear the echo. They love secrets, because secrets pay their rent. I will call the second one the collector. They do not waste words. They prefer papers, photos, numbers, and objects that can be weighed in the hand or counted by the finger. They love proof, because proof lets them rule the room without raising their voice. The deal was made to protect a fear. Your special person was not brave enough to face daylight with their truth, so they tried to hide it in your shadow. They needed a shield, and they picked your name because it was close, because it was loyal, because it was used to saying yes. They did not hate you, they were afraid for themselves. Fear, when it grows teeth, bites the nearest hand. Fear, when it cannot carry its own weight, stacks that weight on the person most likely to forgive. Listen carefully to me. Forgiveness is a bridge, not a leash. Mercy is a light, not a blindfold. Love is an anchor, not a chain around your throat. When the clock hand reaches the upright line and the light turns straight and tall through the window, they will test your door. The whisperer will be first to arrive, pretending they are early by accident and curious by nature. The collector will follow, carrying the next hour like a tool. If you feel your heart rushing, set it back on its feet. If you feel your breath catching, give it space. Courage is not the absence of shaking, it is the choosing of your stance while you shake. There is a reason you are hearing this before it happens. You are not meant to be prey inside your own life. You are meant to be present. Your house remembers your joy, and it remembers who laughed into its corners. It also remembers who walked with mud and did not wipe their feet. There is a pattern here, and your bones can see it even when your eyes think they cannot. Your special person was honest about small things and strategic about large things. They confessed the crumbs so they could hide the loaf. They cried at the right time so no one would notice where the tears did not go. Their secret was not built in a day. It was woven from moments when they thought truth would cost too much. It was guarded by stories that were almost true, and almost true is the favorite shape of a lie. Hear me, you are not about to be destroyed. You are about to be interrupted. The noon hour is not an ending for you, it is an exposure for them. The whisperer's role is to measure your temperature. They will look for what frightens you. They will offer a memory from long ago to see if you still need approval, and they will offer a favor to see if you still need rescue. The collector's role is to lay out the terms. They will present a choice dressed as mercy, cooperate and this goes away. They will call it help. They will call it common sense. They will never call it the price of your self-respect, but that is what it is. Your courage is not loud, it is precise. Your wisdom is not cruel, it is clear. Your boundary is not a wall, it is a door you decide to open or keep shut. You have held a heavy silence for too long. You have carried questions like bags with broken handles. You have explained yourself to people who do not listen, and apologized to people who were never hurt. Bring your focus back to your own hands. Look at what they can hold, your keys, your phone, your truth, your calm. Look at what they can release, guilt that was never yours, blame that was manufactured, panic that belongs to someone else's mistake. At 11:52 a.m., you will feel the house shift, the way rooms change when they expect arrival. That is your last chance to rehearse a fear you no longer need. Put it down and step forward into your own authority. Your authority is not anger, it is alignment. Your power is not noise, it is naming. Your clarity is not ice, it is clean water. The whisperer will try to bind you with the thread of remember when. Do not fight the thread, simply see it for what it is. Memory is not a contract, it is a museum. The collector will try to bind you with the cuff of be reasonable. They will talk about outcomes and optics. They will speak like a person who has already decided and wants you to feel grateful for being included. But your life is not their meeting room. Your future is not their document. Your soul is not their signature line. You will not raise your voice. You will not fold your spine. You will not offer your peace like a dish on the table and ask if anyone wants more. When the whisperer steps inside your doorway, they will scan, as they always do. They will locate pictures, keys, papers, the small containers where people tuck important things because they are convenient. They will locate your kindness and try to sit down on it before you do. Greet them with the posture of a person who knows the weather. Greet them like rain, acknowledged, respected, not invited to live in the living room. Greet them with the kind of quiet that makes a liar rethink their script. They will say they were nearby. They will say they just wanted to check on you. They will aim for gentle, because gentle disarms. They will watch your eyes for the tug that says, "Please approve of me." Look at the clock. Look at the line of light on the floor. Look back at your own hand on the doorframe. Choose yourself. When the collector arrives, they will be a little late on purpose. They will make their timing look like accidental overlap. They will carry a bag or folder, and call it nothing. The heaviest things in a room are always called nothing. They will stand instead of sit. They will speak instead of ask. They will smile instead of soften. They will present the idea that all this is best for you, and the decency in your heart will want that to be true. Breathe once, slowly. Imagine the space between your chest and your back widening like a curtain opening onto a clear day. Imagine your spine finding its true height, not the height it adopted to make other people comfortable. Say less than they do. Say cleaner than they do. Say only what belongs to you. If they mention your special person's secret, recognize the frame. This is not about your failure, it is about their fear. This is not about your shortage, it is about their shadow. You have given many people the benefit of the doubt. You are now allowed to give yourself the benefit of the truth. You have bought peace with too many coins, you are now allowed to save some. Understand this: betrayal tries to make you bargain with your own worth. It tries to make you pay for what you did not break, and apologize for what you did not touch. It tries to make you grateful for being spared by the same hand that put you at risk. Not anymore. Not in your house. Not at noon. There will be a moment when time splits. In one path, you nod along and hope for later safety. In the other, you plant your words like stones in a river and refuse to be moved by the current. Choose the river stones. Say, no. Say, this is not mine. Say, if there is a truth, it must stand in light, and not in my shadow. Watch how their faces shift. The whisperer will look for a smaller doorway, a joke, a memory, come on, we go way back. The collector will look for a bigger tool, a threat dressed as a favor, a timeline dressed as mercy. Hold your center. You are not negotiating your soul today. You are recognizing it. There is a basement to fear and a ceiling to courage. You have been dwelling on the first floor, trying to be polite with people who would park their storms in your hallway. It is time to go upstairs. Upstairs is where the morning air is clean. Upstairs is where the window shows the road and the road shows who is coming. Upstairs is where your name sounds like yours again. If your heart aches for your special person, let it. Pain is what a heart does when it still believes in the version of someone it first met. But love without truth becomes a costume, and you are tired of Halloween. This is not vengeance. This is realignment. This is the moment where you place the compass on a table and watch the needle find north without anyone touching it. Noon will pass, it always does. The sun does not ask permission, and neither does truth. You will still be you when the hour is over, and that will be the beginning, not the leftovers. Consider what you are learning. Your home is sacred, your boundaries are divine, your kindness is not a discount code. Consider what you are remembering. You have walked through heavier doors than this and closed them softly behind you. Consider what you will practice, choosing the voice that keeps you whole. The whisperer and the collector are not villains in a story you must hate, they are teachers who never meant to teach you. Their lesson is simple: you will never again be the safe hiding place for what belongs in the light. Their lesson is complete: the person who tried to use your name as a cover will have to learn how to stand in daylight without it. Let a calm come through you like fresh linen. Let a certainty sit in your chest like a steady drum. Let the next minutes pass like a procession of small doors closing on old rooms. When they speak over each other, do not compete. When they pivot, do not spin. When they make you a destination for their anxiety, do not become a hotel. This is a day for clean language. This is a day for shoulders that belong to you. This is a day for a house that remembers who pays the light bill on time and who keeps the windows clear. You may feel grief rising like tide on distant rocks. That is fine. Grief is proof you did not live asleep. Let it rise. Let it break. Let it wash the shore and recede. After they leave, you will hear the house exhale. The clock will look like a clock again, not a threat. The floorboards will creak for reasons that make sense. Your special person will ask for understanding. Understanding is not the same as permission. Mercy is not the same as access. Tell them you know what they did. Tell them you know why they did it, and that the why belongs to them, not to you. Tell them that love requires eyes, and you will not blindfold yours to keep the scene going. They may talk about pressure, about people, about the past. They may talk about time, about trouble, about terrible choices. They may talk about needing you. Listen, and then measure. Does this draw you toward the person you were created to be, or away from them? Does this place your feet on stone, or in sand? Choose what keeps you honest. Choose what keeps you peaceful. Choose what keeps your name clean. If you decide to walk, walk with the grace of a person who learned. If you decide to stay, stay with the contract of sunlight, the kind where every term is visible and written in your own handwriting. If you decide to pause, let it be a pause that feeds you, not one that starves you. Today you reclaim meaning. Today you reclaim a key that never belonged in another pocket. Today you reclaim the noon hour as a promise, not a threat. There will be quiet days again. There will be afternoons when your tea tastes like it used to. There will be evenings when laughter returns without permission and sits on your couch like it pays rent. The door that opens to you next will not need sneaking. The voice that greets you next will not need whispering. The love that joins you next will not need leverage. You will learn to bless the lesson without blessing the betrayal. You will learn to hold memory without holding the chain. You will learn to keep your heart warm without setting it on fire to light someone else's cave. Walk through your rooms now and notice what remains. Your books still trust your hands. Your plants still turn toward light. Your mirror still reflects a face that survived itself. Take a breath that belongs to you. Place your gaze where it is respected. Keep your feet where they are honored. I will leave you with this: noon was never the enemy. The enemy was the story that told you to fear the sound of your own lock. The enemy was the plan that tried to make your home a stage for someone else's secret. Let your home be your home. Let your voice be your voice. Let your future be your future. When the whisperer remembers another appointment, they will leave. When the collector realizes the room is not cooperative, they will step back. When you realize you do not need to carry what is not yours, you will be free. You are not a barricade, you are a boundary. You are not a hiding place, you are a hearth. You are not a cover, you are a chapter heading. At 12 p.m., truth knocks. At 12:01, you answer. At 12:10, the story begins again with your name in the correct font, on the correct page, belonging to the correct author. Let the day move forward. Let the light do what light does. Let the clock keep time for you, not against you. When you tidy the room after, notice how little there is to put away. Notice how much space returns once uninvited weight is gone. Notice how your shoulders feel when they remember they were never meant to be shelves. This is not the end of love. It is the end of disguise. This is not the end of trust. It is the end of pretending. You are ready. Your house is ready. The hour is ready. No more secret deals made with your peace. No more visits disguised as care. No more bargains that spend your life like spare change. Stand in your doorway, and let the light name you. Stand in your kitchen, and let the air fill your lungs without permission slips. Stand in your heart, and do not move when someone else's storm asks to come in. The lesson is learned. The pattern is broken. The noon hour is yours again. The house knows what's coming, and so do you. There is a hum inside the quiet, the kind of sound that only appears when truth is walking up the road. Let the hum remind you, you are the one who decides what crosses your threshold. You will not brace yourself with fear, you will brace yourself with clarity. You will not rehearse 1,000 outcomes, you will prepare for the only one that matters, your alignment with yourself. You will not play defense, you will stand in ownership. The last 10 minutes before noon, take a slow lap through your home. Touch the back of each chair like you are introducing yourself to your own life again. Notice how ordinary objects calm the air: a cup, a book, a folded shirt. Gather what belongs to your name. This is not paranoia, it is stewardship. Place essential papers where your peace can reach them faster than anyone else's hands. Check your phone and set it to record if needed. Your voice deserves a witness that does not bend. Put a small notepad and pen within reach. Written words do not argue with you later. Place a glass of water on the table. You are a living person, not a meeting. Choose the room where you will speak. Choose the chair that lets your shoulders fall naturally. Choose the light you want on your face. Script 3 lines you can say without effort, because truth is most powerful when it does not need to climb stairs. I will not discuss anything that harms my peace. If there is a truth, it can stand in the open. Nothing about me will be decided without me. The whisperer arrives with a small grin, like someone on a scavenger hunt who thinks they've spotted the final clue. They lead with softness, the practiced kind. I was nearby, they say, and their eyes roam as if your shelves can answer them. You do not apologize for existing. You do not offer more chairs than there are people. You do not fill silence with explanations that turn into rope. You nod once. You gesture to the seat you have chosen for them. You let the floor keep the rest of the conversation company. The collector times their entrance so it looks like coincidence. They carry nothing, which is always the heaviest thing in the room. They keep their voice even, as if evenness were the same as truth. You do not stand to greet them. You do not adjust your face to make their story comfortable. You do not move your water to make space for their folder. Their first move, the past as leverage, the whisperer reaches for old memories like framed pictures. They talk about the time you needed help. They talk about the kindness you received. They try to braid debt into gratitude. You remember, gratitude is not indentured servitude. You remember, a thank you is not a chain. You remember, kindness freely given does not bill you later. Today we speak plainly, you say. No mixing memory with terms. The whisperer tilts their head, trying for disarming. But the angle of a head is not the angle of truth. The room stays steady. Their second move, the future as threat, the collector lays out a choice disguised as relief. If you cooperate, this ends quickly. They talk about convenience, friction, optics. Their words wear polite shoes and trample boundaries anyway. You let their sentence finish. You let the silence finish it again. Then you place your 3 lines on the table like stones. I will not discuss anything that harms my peace. If there is a truth, it can stand in the open. Nothing about me will be decided without me. The collector blinks. The whisperer shifts in their chair. The clock on your wall keeps perfect time. The name behind the deal at last, they show you the shadow behind their visit, your special person. They say the secret like a weather report, trying to make it sound inevitable. They offer to contain the storm if you will hand them your umbrella. Your heartbeat stirs, loyal and human. But loyalty to someone else's hiding place is not loyalty, it is abandonment of self. You inhale once, slowly, and let your heart learn a new tempo in real time. This conversation belongs to daylight, you say. Bring everyone who has a claim to this truth into one room, or do not bring it here at all. They do not like the invitation. They prefer corners to windows. They prefer whispers to declarations. You keep the window open anyway. The kind intimidation the whisperer leans toward the tone of care. We're worried about you, they say, the way a person says, we, when they are afraid to stand alone. They gesture at consequences with a velvet glove. You recognize the glove. You remember the first time you put your piece inside it. You decide not to do that again. I'm safe in my honesty, you answer. If anyone here feels unsafe in theirs, this is the wrong address. The turning of the rooms turn when truth appears. The air finds a new center. The clock hand looks taller. The collector flips a page they never wanted to flip. The whisperer tries one last joke to lighten a weight they chose to carry into your house. Neither of them can make your floorboards forget who owns the keys. You offer the exit with plain words. If your plan requires my silence, it will not live here. You stand, not to threaten, but to embody your full height. It is enough. When the door closes outside, the day is ordinary, which is its own blessing. Inside, the quiet is honest, which is its own medicine. The clock sounds like a clock again. You do not sprint to text anyone. You do not rush to argue with the past. You do not bargain with what you just learned. Instead, you pour fresh water. You sit where the light falls. You let your body arrive in the room that bears your name. The call you will make, or not, if you choose to call your special person, you decide the ground first. Your life is not a courtroom, it is a field with fences you maintain. The call will either honor those fences or end quickly. 3 sentences can carry a whole boundary. I know what was done with my name. I choose clarity over cover. If we continue, we do it where sunlight can read every line. If they try to tell you who you are, you will not outsource your definition. If they ask you to hold their fear for them, you will not become a storage unit. If they cry, you will not mop the floor with your future. A simple protocol for your piece 1. Name the event. Not a story, not an interpretation. 2 people came to my house at noon with a deal that required my silence. 2. Name your boundary. My name is not a shelter for secrets. 3. Name the path forward. We will meet with a neutral witness or not at all. This is not coldness, this is care with temperature control. This is not punishment, this is stewardship. This is not drama, this is design. Clean up that isn't about mess. Open the windows for a few minutes and let the air trade places with itself. Wipe the table where terms tried to sit. Straighten the chair where your spine stayed true. Write 1 page in your own handwriting about what you did well today. Do not minimize the way you held your breath and then remembered to breathe. Do not skip the part where you chose yourself without harming anyone else. Place that page somewhere reachable. On difficult mornings, let it teach you who you are again. On ordinary afternoons, let it be proud for you when you forget to be proud for yourself. The honest inventory. Make a list of what your love deserves that lying cannot afford. Eyes that meet yours without flinching. Plans that can be said out loud. Apologies that repair, not just repeat. Make a list of what your home deserves that secrecy cannot survive. Doors that open to respect. Rooms that don't have to brace. Mornings that do not rehearse panic. Make a list of what your future deserves that fear cannot provide. Choice without coercion. Peace without payment. Joy that does not check the hallway first. If they return, if the whisperer circles back with one more thing, you are not obligated to host the epilogue. If the collector emails a summary, you are not required to sign the summary of someone else's plan. If your special person asks for, just tonight, you can answer with, not under these terms. Script the sentence you'll use once and reuse as needed. I am available for honest repair, not covert maintenance. Script the second one too. My silence is no longer for rent. Script the third just in case. If your safety needs my harm, find another solution. The reclaiming ritual, practical, not mystical. Walk the boundary of your home slowly, inside first, then outside if possible. At each corner, say your name in a voice you trust. At each doorway, say one true thing about yourself that fear cannot edit. Put fresh sheets on your bed tonight. Not because you are fragile, but because beginnings like clean linens. Brew tea or pour water and let the first sip be a contract with quiet. Set one small appointment for something that grows, plant, project, body. Put it on the calendar where noon once tried to borrow your peace. Growth is your reply. The conversation you'll never have again. You will never again explain the difference between kindness and compliance to someone using your kindness as a ladder. You will never again translate your no into a yes that breaks you in half. You will never again donate your self-respect to cover someone else's invoice. This vow is not loud, it is lasting. This vow is not about them, it is about you. This vow is not a wall, it is a lit path. The letter you write your future. Today I chose the version of me that stands in light. Today I learned the taste of plain words and how they feed me better than sweet lies. Today I kept my name. Sign it. Date it. Fold it and put it where future you keeps proof. If you decide to forgive, forgiveness is not a stage you perform on. It is a private room with one chair and a window you open when you're ready. It does not announce itself to get applause. It does not reopen doors you closed for safety. You can forgive and still require proof of change. You can forgive and still end the story. You can forgive and still live alone for a season while your peace learns to trust.